she's got that.
We're not logged in. Oh, wait, there we are. I apologize.
We are. Yes, we are.
Have you shared this yet? The screen yet?
Not yet, come through. Chairman,
Yes.
will I?
Okay. Are we set? Just give me a holler when we're set and I'll start off.
I hate this. I hate it. I hate it.
Good evening. I'd like to call this January 13th, 2021 meeting of the City of Manassas Park Planning Commission to order. The time is 7 p.m. My name is Lester Finkel. Sitting this evening are Martha Collier, John Evans, Alana Mensing, and Michael Beckett's. Before I move forward, I'd just like to wish everyone, I hope everyone had an enjoyable Christmas, understanding the circumstances we're under. And I hope you have an excellent new year as much as we can from how last year was. I'd also like to welcome Michael Beckett's to us. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you joining us and look forward to having you be a part. You're welcome. Okay, did the roll call. Commissioner Mensing, if I could have you do the invocation, moment of silence, and Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Next agenda item is approval of the agenda. Are there any modifications to the agenda? Seeing none, do I have a motion to accept the agenda as is?
So moved.
Moved, second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next agenda item is adoption of minutes from December 9th, 2020 meeting. I've provided a couple of edits already. Do any other commissioners have changes to the meeting minutes from December 9th of 2020? Yes, sir. Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes from December 9th, 2020 meeting as amended?
So moved.
Motion, second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next agenda item is time for public input regarding items that are not on the agenda. Are there any members of the public present who would like to speak to an item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move along. Under new business, we have a three-part public hearing this evening. So the city is the applicant for this public hearing. There are three parts to it. We will have it all presented under one public hearing, but there will be three parts. And when we get to close the public hearing, I will be going through each part of the presentation of the three, and we will have three separate opportunities to discuss motions and then take the votes. So the city is the applicant, so I will ask Administrator Barry to come forward and make the presentation on behalf of the city.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. For the record, my name is Michelle Barry. I'm Planning and Zoning Administrator for the City of Manassas Park. What we have before you is a rezoning of a particular parcel. It's kind of identified as 1A. The actual address is 9202 Manassas Drive. Accompanying that are 4 waivers and 1 public facilities manual waiver. This is for a specific property, and it's outlined in blue on the slide, and it is surrounded by vacant property. To the south is the Norfolk Southern Railroad. There is property to the east that is, was an industrial use. It is now vacant and under approval for the rezoning 2006, which was approved as part of the Village of Manassas Park rezoning. Again, the property to the north is under the same rezoning that was approved back in October. There is currently a partial operation of the truck driving school on the site. So here's a blow up of our zoning map. You can see that the property is zoned I-1. True to the previous rezoning, the properties to the north and east are now zoned MUD. And there is property across the street, across Manassas Drive, that is zoned I-1. And the railroad and the Manassas Park BRE station parking lot is zoned A1, which is actually agriculture. Just real briefly, here is the comprehensive plan map, and it shows that this property is in the middle of the city center redevelopment district. So that is again for a downtown mixed-use area within the city, and you can see some other planning areas such as multifamily in purple. The railroad is zoned, is the comprehensive plan designation of public and utilities, and you can see the Connor Center redevelopment district, which is both zoned industrial for the most part. So I'm going to keep mentioning rezoning 2006 because that is the overall rezoning for Village of Manassas Park. As you can see from this map, this literally is the missing piece of the puzzle, if you will. It's the last site identified on this map as Phase 3. If you read the words on that, it said potentially zoned to PF. In staff discussion, we decided to zone it to MUD. That is what is proposed to be zoned to. And again, this is the missing component of the Village of Manassas Park development. And real quickly, this is kind of a flow up, and I wanted to show a little bit that there is a portion of the new city hall that is on this property. This is a parking lot that will be used by all the commercial customers who come to the restaurant or commercial building here and over across Park Center Court and use actually the city facilities. Just as a note, this area in here that will front on Park Center Court is going to be a public plaza. And then finally, the major component of this parcel is Public Road B, which wraps around here and provides access to the VRV station as well as up here to Park Center Court. So again, this is an integral piece to the Village of Manassas Park development, which you can see in its entirety here, providing transportation access as well as essential parking for the development.
Hey Mickey, this is Dean. Can I chime in real quick on that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to note that it's actually going to be a public parking lot, and that the commercial users can use it, but it's primarily for the purpose of a public parking lot associated with a public building, which is City Hall. And the reason we didn't zone it or propose zoning it to PF is because the City Hall, which is primarily public use as well, is already zoned MU or MUD, and it seemed a little awkward to try and split the building between MUD and PU or a public facility. And then we looked at the idea of trying to carve out City Hall from the other piece as public facility, and that was overly cumbersome. But that road is a public road. It's going to be a public road there. It will serve the overall downtown area, but its primary purpose is, you'll note, to provide another access to the VRE public parking garage. So this is all a public purpose, even though we're zoning it to MUD, because the uses in a PF district are all by right uses in the MUD. So I just want to clarify that.
Thank you. This is just the landscaping plan associated with it, and you can see that there is a bit of green space on the south side of the site in question, and then there's a few landscaping areas within the public parking lot. We will go over some waivers that it's not to our zoning ordinance. There's several parking lot landscaping waivers, but this is the overall concept plan for vegetation and open space for this particular lot. So the zoning waivers, as I described before, are 4 parking lot landscaping waivers. And you can see that there's one for landscaping islands every 10 parking spaces. There's supposed to be a 10-foot wide peripheral parking lot landscaping buffer around any lot. There is also a 5-foot wide landscape strip adjacent to public streets. And finally, there's supposed to be 8 square feet of open space per parking space that's located within 125 feet of that space. Based on the layout that I showed previously, you note that those requirements can't be met, so we are seeking waivers for these specific zoning ordinance requirements. And then finally, the public facilities manual waiver is to not require sidewalks on both sides of the street. You'll notice that that portion of Public Road B does not have any sidewalks, that it's mostly a vehicular entrance and egress, and the focus of the pedestrian was supposed to be more on Park Center Court area. So the Village at Manassas Park developer thought it was best to, as part of the overall concept plan, to make that more of a vehicular oriented entrance and not have sidewalks there. You can see the City Center Redevelopment District Comprehensive Plan Guidance. I put up some bullet points. This proposed rezoning is consistent with the comprehensive plan. As mentioned, it is really trying to create this mixed-use development, and this site is certainly a integral piece for that. And as part of that, we will be creating public space, including public parking, a public road, and then it will feed into the rest of the development, which has a mix of uses as well as residential. And finally, it's supposed to represent a great place, which this overall plan does. Again, there was approval of the previous rezoning that showed this site. So with that, I'm going to leave up the development plan. Staff is recommending to the Planning Commission approval of the rezoning, as well as the 4 zoning waivers and the 1 public facilities manual waiver. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do commissioners have any questions for Administrator Barry?
I have a question.
Sure.
So the waiver is waiving the sidewalks on the new road. Will they be putting a sidewalk along Manassas Drive?
There already is a sidewalk along Manassas.
Oh, okay.
Believe
It
or
does
not.
start
Yeah,
there. Okay.
it's actually far out. It's closer to, it's not really close to, where they are providing a little bit of sidewalk around the city hall, but the existing sidewalk is actually closer to the curb. There's a little planting strip in between the curb and the sidewalk, but it's not that close to that property line.
Okay, I wasn't clear where it ended.
I can try to go back to the aerial photo and see if that actually shows you. See how you can see, yeah.
Right there.
Right, and see how far away it is from the property line.
Oh, right, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
There will be, to Mickey's point, there's going to be kind of additional sidewalk and a little retaining wall here as well. And then on Park Center Court, you'll have the plaza and additional streetscape along Park Center Court as well.
Okay, thank you.
And so we as commissioners, what we're looking for is to make sure it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. So if we have any questions concerning that, we have the city staff here to support us on that.
And we want everyone kind of walking through the plaza to get to the garage. That's the goal, is to funnel everyone who's on this side, encourage them to walk this way to get to the garage, so they pass the plaza and the coffee shop and other businesses.
Other questions? Thank you for the presentation. At this time, I'd like to offer an opportunity if there are any members of the public here. Are there any members of the public here?
No.
Okay. If there were, I'd give them an opportunity to take a look at the exhibits and then offer an opportunity for them to ask questions, to put their comments on the record. But seeing none, we'll move along then. And so is there anything in conclusion, Administrator Barry, that you'd like to offer?
No, I believe I mentioned before that staff is recommending approval of these applications for the planning commission to recommend approval to the governing body of all of these items.
Okay, thank you. Any questions at all finally? Okay. Then at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing. Make sure I see what the time is. I'll close the public hearing. Time is 7:17. So at this time, what I'll do is I'll put it out into three parts. The one public hearing, but we have three different components to it. For each one, we'll be looking to make sure we're satisfied that it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. So I'll start with allowing discussion on the first part, which is the rezoning for RZ number 20-11, parcel 1A, phase 3 of Village at Manassas Park. Is there any discussion? Are we satisfied that it meets consistent with the comprehensive plan?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well then, if there's no further discussion then, would someone like to make a motion to recommend rezoning RZ number 20-11, parcel 1A, phase 3 of Village at Manassas Park, recommended for approval to the governing body?
I would, sir.
Motion by Commissioner Evans, second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Mensing. No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. The second part is four different numbered waivers. I will go ahead and read those for the record and then offer, again, an opportunity for discussion if there is any. So we have four waivers under this portion of it. It's WAI number 20-11D from Code Section 31-27, Subpart B, Subpart 6. The summary of the requirement is a landscaped strip, 5 feet in width, curbing or approved barriers, continuous except for entrances and exits, shall be provided along the boundaries of any off-street parking area that abuts or adjoins a public street, alley, or public right-of-way in order to control entrance and exit of vehicles or pedestrians. The next waiver is WAI number 20-11E from Code Section 31-27, Subpart B, Subpart 10. The summary of this requirement is a parking bay shall not be constructed to a length of more than 90 feet without constructing a landscape island of at least 9 feet in width and 18 feet in length. The third waiver is WAI number 20-11I from Code Section 31-33, Subpart G, Subpart 1. The summary of the requirement for this waiver is there shall be landscaped open space within the perimeter of the parking areas in the minimum amount of 8 square feet for each parking space, which shall be located so that no parking space is more than 125 feet from a portion of the landscaped open space as required. And the final waiver under this portion is WAI number 20-11J, Section Code 31-33, Subpart G, Subpart 2. And the summary of this requirement is peripheral landscaping shall be required along any side of a parking lot that abuts adjoining property that is not a right-of-way, such that a landscaped strip 10 feet in width shall be located between the parking area and the abutting property lines, except where driveway or other openings may be required. So these are the 4 waivers under this portion of what we heard at the public hearing. Is there any discussion regarding its consistency with respect to the comprehensive plan?
None.
Okay. Would someone care to make a motion then to recommend these 4 waivers, recommend approval for these 4 waivers to the governing body?
I would move to approve as presented.
Motion made by Commissioner Collier, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Evans. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And the third part to this hearing that we heard this evening is the public facilities waiver. It's PFW number 20-11F from Code Section 401.12. And the summary of requirement is sidewalks are required on both sides of the street. So is there any discussion on this waiver? Hearing none, would anyone care to make a motion to recommend this waiver for approval to the governing body?
So moved, sir.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mensing. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Administrator Barry. We appreciate the presentation. Okay, moving along in the agenda. We have no unfinished business to attend to this evening. There are no reports of special committees. The next item is informational update from community development staff. Administrator Barry.
Okay, I do have a few items I wanted to discuss with you. First, on a very positive note, the Palisades pedestrian trail that connects Digital Drive to Railroad Drive should be, the completion of that should be starting fairly soon. They're going to
Cool.
pick up the retaining wall permit tomorrow.
Excellent.
So hopefully that construction can take place. They are doing a retaining wall and then finishing the
Good.
steps because they've cut
About 8 or 10 steps shy. Is that if I count correctly?
So we're very pleased from staff,
Yes.
and I'm sure hopefully the community that this will be completed.
Yeah.
So
Good.
that's some good news to share. And then I just wanted to talk about the upcoming meetings and the items that we'll be discussing. Note that February 10th, which is our meeting next month, we'll be discussing the draft CIP, and that will be the presentation of the directors. Leslie will be present along with all the directors of each department. And then we should be, it is scheduled to have the site plans for Village at Manassas Park at the March 10th meeting. So we are proceeding with those site plans. I'm sure you're aware of the schedule of development, and so we're trying to keep on track with that. So working with the applicant, we are reviewing site plans and should be able to take them to you for recommendation and for approval to me in March.
Yeah.
I think the final CIP hearing for the planning commission will occur in April. So we do have several items coming up for the next few months. That's it. Calvin, if you're on, do you have anything to add as the community development director that you might want to touch on?
Just hopefully within the next couple of months, we have phase 4 rezoning application.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I know they're doing their traffic study, their traffic analysis. We've kind of scoped that out. So.
Yeah, and I'm meeting with them next week because they're involved in the negotiations on the ground lease negotiation. It's a complex thing, but it's still progressing phase 4. It's just, there's other moving pieces on it. So.
Okay. Good. Cool. Exciting times there. I am happy about that access between the that walkway for pedestrians because
involved in that project, staff and citizens alike, and the owners are pleased as well. So
Yeah.
I think we can all give a yay and a high cheer for that accomplishment. So we'll see the product of that in the next month or so.
Good.
So,
I live in that Dominion Crossing townhome complex there, and when I bought the home in 2015, I was promised that would be there, and I've been waiting and even tried it a few times trying to get past it, but with that fencing and stuff, it doesn't make it easy there. So yes, I'm very excited personally. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. You're welcome. Any other items? We're at the end of our agenda. We're good? Okay. So then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
Motion by Commissioner Mensing, second. Commissioner Evans. The time is 7:20.